In this video, I'm going to show you how to register for the Central Data Exchange at the Environmental Protection Agency. The Central Data Exchange, or CDX, is a secure computer system that allows you to submit your information and data to the agency and then directs this information to the appropriate agency officials. The first step in submitting information to the agency is to register with the CDX system. Once you have filled out and submitted the online information to EPA, the agency will send you an email with further instructions on completing your registration. Once your registration is complete, you can start submitting your information to the agency and even authorize other individuals to submit data and manage your CDX account. To begin the registration process, you need to go to the CDX website. The web address is https://cdx.epa.gov. And remember to add the S to the usual HTTP address, since you will be going to a secure website that encrypts your data and protects your information. Once you enter this address, you'll come to the page that you see in front of you. This is the main welcome screen, and it is where you will log on to the system once you have completed the registration process, or where you will start the registration process from scratch. Since we want to register with the system, we're going to click on the green button that says Register with CDX, and when we do that, it will turn blue. This will bring up the next screen, which contains the terms and conditions for using the site. You should scroll down the page and read the information, and if you agree with the conditions, then click the little Agree circle down at the bottom and press the Proceed button. The next screen shows the various programs where data can be submitted under the CDX system. Different programs have various submission requirements, registration procedures, and different roles assigned to individuals who will be submitting data to the agency. In our example, we're going to use the Toxic Substance Control Act, or TSCA. And as I scroll down, you'll see that TSCA is located here. I will then click on this, and when I do, I get another screen with a little box with a pull-down menu. Because of the TSCA system, we have two roles that a person can have when they submit data to the agency. The first one is the authorizing official. This is the main person officially responsible for the submissions and will later be verified by EPA. The support registrant, on the other hand, is someone designated by the authorizing official to submit data and access the account on their behalf. In this particular case, I will select the authorizing official and select the Request Role button. The next screen that comes up is information having to do with you as the submitter. You are required to put in a user ID, and this ID will be unique to you. The conditions of this particular user ID is that it must have at least 8 characters. So I'll put in Good Dog 3 as my ID and select Mr. Put in my first name, John A. Smith. And then I come down here, I need to put in a password. Well, there are certain conditions for that password, and they are as follows. The password must have at least 8 alphanumeric characters. It must contain no spaces and no special characters, like the asterisk or the pound sign or something like that. It must have at least 1 uppercase letter, it must have at least 1 lowercase letter, and it must have at least 1 number. So I'm going to put in one that satisfies that, capital E, P-A-T-O-X-I-C 1. And then I'll do the same thing again, capital E, P-A-T-O-X-I-C TOXIC1. The next section deals with 3 security questions that you're going to be asked to respond to. You get to choose the security questions, and one or more of these questions may be asked when you log in as a secondary form of identification in order to enter the site. So I'll do that here, and for example, I will say, what was my dream job as a child? Okay, when I click that, I have an option over here where I would click in the answer that I would put in when asked this question by the computer. In this case, I'll put in cowboy. I'll then go to the second security question, which is the same type of options that I had in the first one, and select another question. In this case, I'll select, what was your favorite toy as a child? Well, obviously, if I'm a cowboy, probably my favorite toy was a gun. And finally, the third security question is, what was the best gift I ever received? Probably as a child, it was probably a bike. Once I've completed this, I then move down to the last part of this page, which has to do with information dealing with my organization. If this is the first time you've submitted anything to EPA, the agency does not have any record of your company or you. And so you would click on the search box, and when you do, you'll see down at the bottom there is in blue letters a statement that says, request that we add your organization. When you click on that, it will bring up information dealing with your organization, which you would fill out, having to do with the name of your organization, the mailing address, city, state, email, phone numbers, and things of that nature. If, on the other hand, EPA has already got some information about your organization in its database, you can type in the organization in this search box, and I'm going to put in a company called DECAF, D-E-C-A-F, and then hit the search button, and you will see that EPA does have some information about my organization. So I'm going to click on the number here in the organization ID, and when I do that, another screen will come up indicating that yes, EPA has the name of my organization and the address, but apparently it doesn't have my email, phone number, and fax numbers. So let me put those in. John at decaf.org, and I'll re-enter that again. John at decaf.rg. Of course, these have to match. And I'll put in a phone number, 111-222-3333. Let's say I want an extension 345. And when I'm ready and I have all this information in, I will then submit the request for access button. And when I do, you will get this processing request banner, and later the final confirmation that your information has been successfully submitted to the agency. You will probably want to remember this number, your confirmation number, and maybe do a screenshot or something like that so that you can refer to it later. Now, once EPA gets this information and processes it, it will then send you an email for further instructions on how to finish the registration process, which will then allow you to come in and submit data or manage your CDX account.